since we're smack dab in the middle of, hey, create whatever content we can make season, the NFL released their all-decade team. Now, what's weird about the decade for me, like all decades team, whatever, because it's like, say count to 10. You don't go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But with decades teams, you go 2010 to 2019. But I understand you wouldn't include 2020 with the 2010s, but it's just weird to me. It's just odd, but yeah, whatever. So we're going to go through the list. We're going to talk about the selections. I mean, who got snubbed, who didn't, etc. So let's dive right in. Also, I can't wait for the echo chamber to happen with this, where, the national media outlets, they specifically create these stories, and then they're like, oh, reaction to the story, reaction to the reactions of the story. And when we do it, though, I'm aware I'm doing it. I fully admit that we're doing this for hashtag content, hashtag clickbait, everything like that. I can't wait for Rex Ryan to call this list a turd, and then we'll talk about, oh, what's Rex Ryan right to call this list a turd? Next, we'll embrace debate. Get out of here. Get out of here. All decade team. So, quarterback, Brady, Rodgers, Brady unanimous. Pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. He won like all the Super Bowls, whatever. I would put Drew Brees in over Aaron Rodgers, not because I love Drew Brees so much. It's more that my hatred for Drew Brees is slightly less than Aaron Rodgers. So there you go. Running backs, wide receivers. So Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron, and Julio Jones. Now, makes a lot of sense. I mean, Demaryius Thomas, you wouldn't think about it, but he does make a very strong case here, because for the decade, he's fourth in receptions with 724. He's fourth in yards receiving with 9,763. Antonio Brown just makes it just because I think at his peak, he was either the best or the second best wide receiver in the league. He was top 1 or 2, which I think this list actually weights more than just like compiling of stats, etc. But we'll get into compilers. So next up, I love how they subtly just take shots at, running backs don't matter, because they put it down the bottom. Like, whenever you list an offensive players, it's so rare that offensive line isn't last. So the fact that they just buried running back, we see you. Tight ends, Gronk and Travis Kelce. Now, Gronk for sure. I think Gronk is easily one of the greatest tight ends of all time, as well as 24/7 WWE champ. Or something. I don't know. But also, I would put Jimmy Graham in over Travis Kelce. And again, it's not so much that I have such a big love for Jimmy Graham, but the numbers are what they are. Jimmy Graham, when he was on his game with Drew Brees in New Orleans, he was a bad mama. That's right. We're getting to running backs next, because screw this list. So Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, Shady McCoy, Adrian Peterson. We sort of forget. I mean, Shady McCoy won a Super Bowl by being a healthy scratch, right, for the Chiefs last year. But Shady McCoy, when he was at his peak with the Eagles and to a degree with the Bills, Shady McCoy was bad, man. Like, he was one of the best two running backs in the league. And sort of went back, and they made a nice trio. Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, Shady McCoy, Adrian Peterson for a number of years, except for when he missed 2014 because of reasons. But I mean, Frank Gore is such a beautiful compiler, and yes, there is a skill and talent in doing that. But I mean, I probably would have put Matt Forte in over Frank Gore. Also, sneakily, you could make a case for Mark Ingram, over the decade, 7th in rushing, 4th in touchdowns, and he's still doing the damn thing. So is Frank Gore, I guess. But all right, offensive line. It can't really make any. I don't really have any beef with any of these offensive linemen. So Marshall Yanda, unanimous, low-key, phenomenal player, coming out of Iowa, just coming off the farm in Iowa, going to Baltimore, dominating, and then just leaves. That's what he does. Jari Evans was a stud for a number of years with the Saints. Logan Mankins, pride of Fresno State, with the Patriots for a number of years. Wherever did he go after that? He went to, where did he go after the Patriots? It doesn't matter. Then also Zach Martin, where a little bit later addition to this list, because I believe is a 2014 draft pick, but I mean, just sheer straight up dominance, being one of the best guards in the league, if not the best guard in the league over the last 5-6 years. That'll do it for him. Centers, Alex Mack, pride of Cal, as well as Marquise Pouncey, Florida State, pride of Florida. I was going to say something snarky there. Pass. As well as tackles, Jason Peters, Tyron Smith, Joe Staley, and Joe Thomas. I think Joe Thomas being the only unanimous selection for that list really does say a lot, because, I mean, Peters, Smith, Staley, all very good players. I think Peters and Smith are probably headed towards the Hall of Fame one day, but the fact that Joe Thomas is the only unanimous selection amongst those tackles really says a lot. Big respect there for JT, number 73. Defense. Actually, so the flex. Now, I didn't understand the parameters. Like, did you have to pick a flex-ish type player? So did you have to pick a Darren Sproles or a Tavon Austin or a utility player like that? Or could it just be whatever wide receiver, tight end, running back, like fantasy football, right? So, I mean, Sproles, he was great. He was a hell of a lot of fun. But, I mean, I would have put Demaryius Thomas or Mark Ingram or Matt Forte in the flex over Sproles. But, again, maybe I should have done my homework here. Maybe you do have to pick some sort of do-it-all Swiss Army knife. How come Taysom Hill isn't in there, huh? Like 97-year-old Taysom Hill? Defense. So Calais Campbell, Cam Jordan, Julius Peppers, J.J. Watt. Now, it does bug me that they go DNs, D-tackles, linebackers, blah, 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 as opposed to splitting up with edge, defensive interior. Now, it is nice that they split up inside linebackers, outside linebackers, so there is a little bit of differentiation there. But, you know, I mean, football fans, if we don't have anything to bitch about, I mean, what is the point of life, right? So Calais Campbell, Cam Jordan, Julius Peppers, J.J. Watt, pretty damn strong. Cameron Wake. Cameron makes a very strong case. 95 sacks up there for the decade. So I could easily see him being slid in. But also, here's what happens all the time. You can point out who got snubbed, but who do you take off? I mean, Campbell, Jordan, Peppers, J.J. That's tough. That is tough. Defensive tackles, I mean, you're not going to find any argument here. Atkins, Cox, Donald, Sue. Really enough said. The fact that Donald and Sue were on the same team, same D-line for a hot second with the Rams, pretty damn nice. Linebackers wise, inside backers, Kuechly, Wagner, Willis. People forget how good Patrick frickin' Willis was. Yeah, mainly because he retired early, so it's been a couple years since he's been in the spotlight. But back when the Niners were actually good, and then they had that dip, and then they had the rebirth again. Patrick Willis was a dude. He was a freaking dude. Pride of Ole Miss, just a absolute beast tackling machine. Loved watching him. Outside linebackers. So Chandler Jones, Khalil Mack, Von Miller. Pretty straightforward. It's nice that Von Miller is the only unanimous selection there. Also, look at the unanimous selections here. Watt, Donald, Von Miller. There you go. Not even Revis was a unanimous selection. I mean, what kind of gangster poop is that? Cornerbacks, double P squared, Revis and Sherman. I mean, safeties, Barry, Earl Thomas, Eric Weddle, definitely for sure. And as well as, again, flex, Chris Harris, slot guy, Tyrann Mathieu. Okay, jack of all trades. So, whatever. I agree with the selections, by the way. Special teams. So there's a big discrepancy here. There's a big beef here. So punters, Hecker, Leckler, no big deal, right? Kickers, Gostkowski as well as Justin Tucker, awesome. Punt returners, Tyreek Hill, Darren Sproles, okay, they did work. Kick returners, Devin Hester, Cordero Patterson. Now, Patterson for sure, easy peasy. Should have been unanimous, by the way. Devin Hester, he was a decent kick returner, but he was one of the he is the greatest punt returner of all time. And the fact that he's on the kick returner as opposed to being a punt returner, that's a little funny. That's actually pretty effing hilarious to me. But whatever. No beefs here. I mean, well, where's Daniel All right, fine. Lastly, two coaches, Belichick and Pete Carroll. I mean, you could make a case for Andy Reid, where he finally got on the board at the last second with the buzzer with the Super Bowl win. But, I mean, Andy Reid throughout his career has been one of the most consistently good to great head coaches. So could you put Andy Reid in over Pete Carroll? I mean, I wouldn't be upset if he did, although Pete, Super Bowl win, probably should have been 2. But, of course, Belichick's going to be freaking Belichick. But there it is. That's the NFL All-Decade team. What are your thoughts on our thoughts as we could just continue this content echo chamber? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe, Daily Vikings Takes. If you want to support the work, pull us on the Venmo. Just give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.